With Minecraft having a huge surge in popularity as of April of this year, I've been playing it more than I'd like to admit over the past couple of months.
Oh my goodness!
One thing I've always found more interesting about Minecraft is the horror aspects hidden deep inside of the seemingly innocent game. With this most recent voyage of playing, I found myself getting back into all of these horror aspects, and I've gathered them all into an Iceberg chart that I'll be covering today, combining the older nostalgic topics with the more newer disturbing things I've discovered. This iceberg is guaranteed to have something you haven't heard of yet. This is the Minecraft horror Iceberg Explained. You all know this man, and he's been talked about to death, but this wouldn't be a Minecraft iceberg without including him, so I'll give the brief rundown. Herobrine is the most popular subject when it comes to Minecraft horror. He originated all the way back in August 2010 with a post from an anonymous user on the 4chan image board. The post spoke about how the OP started a new world and started playing as normal, chopping down trees, crafting basic tools, when all of a sudden in the foggy distance, he noticed another player with lifeless white eyes staring back at him. This other player would disappear, and OP would continue to play as normal. As he kept playing, he noticed more and more strange man-made structures, like pyramids and perfect 2x2 tunnels placed around the world. When he went to post about this strange occurrence on the forums, the post would almost immediately get taken down. After trying a couple more times to post about his experience, he would receive a message that simply read, "Stop," from an account with the name Herobrine. After this, another forum user would email him, basically saying that this has happened to him and others, and they looked into it, coming up with the conclusion that Herobrine was the brother of Notch, who is Minecraft's creator. The OP claimed to then email Notch's personal email, asking if he had a brother, only to receive the message, "I did, but he is no longer with us." So basically the lore is that this eyeless version of the player character is Notch's dead brother's ghost haunting the game, which is just so on par with the early 2010s gaming creepypastas. Notch came out at Minecon 2010 and basically said that it's not real and he doesn't even have a brother. But it was too late, as Herobrine was already gaining so much popularity. Some of the earliest Minecraft YouTubers started to flirt with the idea of Herobrine in their videos, and Herobrine completely blew up and was massive for the next couple of years, which really helped the growth of Minecraft overall as well. Many people, when not discussing how annoying phantoms are, discuss the origin of why phantoms even exist. For a while after they were added, a lot of people theorized that phantoms are hallucinations by the player based on the fact that they can only spawn when you are sleep deprived. Well, MatPat uploaded a video that shut down this theory and provided a new theory. He shut down the original theory because phantoms drop the phantom membrane item, and you can see these membranes even when you aren't sleep deprived, meaning they must not be hallucinations. The new theory that he provided in its place is that they were actually spirits of ender dragons that were hunted down by an ancient society and resurrected by experimental rituals done by the Illagers. He came to that conclusion because you can mend the membranes dropped by phantoms with the elytra, meaning there's a direct correlation between the two, and he already deduced from another theory that elytras are fallen ender dragons' wings. This is more interesting than spooky, but I still wanted to include it, so that's why it's in layer 1. The Warden was added in the 1.19 update, or the Wilds update, and is native to the deep dark biome. The Warden is blind and isn't spawned until the player sets off these things called skulk shriekers by making noises like walking or mining. The noises of these sensors are very off-putting on their own too, and sometimes catch me off guard when I'm deep underground mining. When the Warden spawns, it crawls from out of the ground and immediately begins hunting for nearby players. Any player in a 20 block radius gets the darkness status effect that completely darkens your vision, making it hard to see anything that's more than a few blocks away from you. Even if you're not making sound after the Warden spawns, it can still sniff out players, making him pretty hard to avoid. He is a very strong lad, having 250 hearts and being immune to knockback and fire damage. He is probably one of the only intentionally scary things that Minecraft's ever added. We have all at one point stayed up a little too late grinding out our world, all alone deep in the world's caves as you're trying to find diamonds. You may be dozing off a bit, going through the motions, when all of a sudden a horrific cave sound comes out of nowhere and plays loudly in your ears, completely waking you up and giving you a good scare. Cave sounds play and factor on the mood mechanism that you may not even know about. You can always see the current mood in the F3 menu though. The cave sounds sound more like a wailing or staticky breathing more than an actual cave sound, and almost seem like they're there to intimidate or even scare the players as they adventure into a deep cave. This user on Reddit has a cool theory stating that the in-game cave sounds could be auditory hallucinations that the player character is experiencing from being in the cold, dark caves. This entry refers to the soul sand block found in the Nether. More specifically, the faces on the soul sand block, which look like faces in distress or agony. The theory behind this, which is pretty much confirmed, is that the faces in the block are trapped souls that pull you down when you walk over them. A cool piece of information supporting this theory is that soul sand is not a full block, and if you stand next to lava while you're on top of soul sand, you will still be set on fire. Another interesting thing to note is when you use the enchantment Soul Speed on your boots and run over the soul sand, you'll see these faces start to float off the block. The Farlands are a terrain generation glitch that appeared in Minecraft versions prior to Beta 1.8. Essentially, it is a giant spongy wall that appears around 12 million blocks from spawn. Due to their eerie and mysterious nature, many creepypastas about the Farlands began appearing on the internet around this time. A pretty popular one is the Farlands Man, aka the Farman. The Farman's skin is completely pitch black except for his two eyes, which are glowing red, as is most of these creepypasta skins from this time. He is rumored to have the ability to gain full control of a server, then exploit and damage the user's hardware after crashing their game. There are many YouTube videos with sightings of this guy, but they weren't too popular and they faded after a bit of time, probably due to the fact that they got overshadowed by Herobrine. Disc 11 and Disc 13 are two different music discs available to find in chests scattered around your world. They function like the other music discs that you can find in your world, however instead of playing actual music like other discs, Disc 11 and 13 play atmospheric almost stories using sounds. Disc 11, which is exactly 1 minute and 11 seconds in length, starts with a person's footsteps in a cave, which then leads to this person using flint and steel before rummaging through what sounds like papers. Then it cuts to them running over stone, which then turns to them running over dirt. Then the disc abruptly ends. Disc 13 starts again with someone in a cave. Then they get shot by something, or someone, before the audio cuts. They then get attacked by a creeper, before falling into water and swimming out and walking away. The disc then ends and seemingly has nothing more to it, however some people noticed that the cut in the middle of the disc was exactly 11 seconds in length, matching the number that's all over disc 11. So if we play disc 11 in that abrupt cut of 13, we then get the more full story. The reason to why this exists in the game and what it means is still unsolved, however people come out every once in a while to theorize the meaning behind it. This has for sure spooked a lot of people who played the disc expecting regular music to be played. If you grew up playing Minecraft since around its launch, you can already tell what this entry pertains to. Liminal spaces and overall liminality are present all over Minecraft, especially when looking back on older pictures of previous versions. When you first look at these images, you may feel a sense of nostalgia just as you would with the real-world liminal space examples. But just like these real-life examples, you're almost immediately taken over by a small sense of dread or loneliness. Perhaps they remind you of online friends that are lost to you that you may never speak to again, or maybe they even remind you of playing alone with these vast empty spaces that only you occupy. If you want to look more into these spaces, there's a Minecraft liminal space subreddit that you should check out after this video. Error Error 422 is said to be a glitched or messed up version of Minecraft that was discovered when a player was sent a corrupted version of the game and tried running it. This version contains corrupted gameplay, disturbing elements, and overall unstable code. Some versions of the story suggest that Error 422 is a haunted version of Minecraft created by a paranormal force. There's actually a couple mods that were inspired by 422 that you can play and experience the cursed version for yourself. Entity 303 is a creepypasta that began circulating at the end of 2013. Entity 303 is commonly described as a mysterious figure wearing a full-body white cloak, with a shadowy face and large red eyes. The lore behind him is that he's a former Mojang employee who was fired by Notch for unknown reasons, and now he wants revenge on Mojang by targeting Minecraft's players. He is said to hack into players' worlds, causing disturbing and unexplained things such as randomly placed signs with cryptic messages, unexplained changes to landscape, like unnatural structures or removed blocks, sudden game crashes, and severe lag. Sightings of Entity 303 are rare, but when they do happen, they are said to be brief appearances before he quickly vanishes. The lore and design of 303 is pretty cool, but unfortunately he was overshadowed by a certain white-eyed individual we covered earlier on the list. Speaking of that white-eyed individual, this entry refers to more deeper lore and the many theories and sightings surrounding him. One of the first mainstream sightings, other than the original post, was by a streamer named Copeland, who as he was playing got jump-scared by a still-standing Herobrine after opening a door in his house. This was proven to be fake as it was just a retextured painting. Another streamer from that time named Patamus also streamed a supposed sighting, but later in a stream not too long after, he admitted it to being a retextured door. Copeland, who was the streamer from the first fake sighting, was spamming links in Patamus's chat that led to a pretty creepy website of a Steve face with human eyes looking around the screen. For the next couple of years from 2011 to 2013, there would be tons of Herobrine sighting videos, somehow getting more and more clearly staged. There was also tutorials being posted online for how to summon Herobrine to your world, and it was pretty hard not to come across a world from that time with a silly structure that was made as an attempt to summon Herobrine. Eventually Mojang jumped onto the Herobrine hype and even started teasing him in official art for the game. The most infamous piece of Herobrine integration into the actual canon of the game is Mojang including a message regarding Herobrine in every changelog since beta version 1.6, all the way until version 1.16 and again in version 1.20. This message read, "Removed Herobrine," playing along with the creepypasta. This entry refers to a glitch many players have started to notice as of late last year or so. When they load up their game, regular overworld mobs will be missing their eyes. It only seems to be passive or neutral mobs like cows, pigs, villagers, and even in some cases iron golems, who look the creepiest out of all of them, with these just empty deep sockets on their faces. A Reddit post by user MaxedOut444 was posted in June of this year asking about the glitch, as it affected him and took place in his game, and a lot of the comments were saying it was a glitch with the Fresh Animations mod pack. However, MaxedOut claimed to not have any mods downloaded at all on his computer. Almost every instance of this glitch I've seen had posters claiming they had no mods downloaded at all, in fact. Could it be? This started happening around the same time Minecraft stopped claiming to remove Herobrine in the update logs. Could he be behind this eyeless onslaught? Nah, I'm just kidding, but it's still a pretty disturbing glitch that I wouldn't want to randomly come across. This entry refers to strange villager behavior that has been documented by some players and posted about online. One thing in particular I found shared amongst these posts is villagers seemingly running away from villages all at once out of nowhere. This isn't your typical zombie gets close and villagers start aimlessly running around the village. This is with no threat at all, villagers just running away all at once, sort of like they're running from something. Some people have commented that it may be an issue with their workstation pathfinding, and they are simply trying to locate another village to make their way over to. Whether it is a bug or not, it's still eerie to be one day in a village living with tons of villagers, then waking up the next day with all of them gone, leaving you in the now ghost town. Disc 5 is again another atmospheric story like Disc 11 and 13, and is the only disc in Minecraft that can be crafted. You can craft it with 9 disc fragments, which are found inside ancient city chests. This disc follows the theme of the story of 11 and 13, where the setting is in a cave, but it is much more eerie than the other two, having whispering noises, breathing noises, army-style drumming or banging, sounds from the warden, and much more. MatPat has a great video with a theory on what the audio from this disc means. To give a very brief rundown of his theory, he claims the disc is telling the stories of the ancient builders from Minecraft's history using the warden to fight the Wither. This fight almost pushed them to extinction, which forced them to live in the end for eternity. For sure check out MatPat's video after this one if you're more interested in this entry though. This entry refers to a video uploaded in 2009 on Notch's old YouTube channel. The video shows a clip of some early Minecraft survival gameplay with MD3 models from Quake chasing the player. This was purely for testing purposes on Notch's part. However, it just looks so uncanny and horrifying as these models just follow the player and flail all around the world. I think it would be pretty funny if Minecraft temporarily added these models for an April Fool's or a Halloween update, as that would no doubt scare a ton of players. The Orphanage is a horror map released in early 2014 by Omercy, and it is one of the most popular horror maps with over 1.3 million downloads as of the time I'm writing this. The map is about the player's car running out of gas and breaking down while on a long trip back home, and how you now must seek shelter for the night, as there is seemingly no gas station around. As you start to explore a bit, you find a building called the Orphanage. The map was filled with cheap jump scares, which only helped its popularity as people love seeing YouTubers' reactions to the scares present in the map. Despite the cheap jump scares, it's still a decent map you should check out if you want a good scare. UFOs refer to a myth all the way back around version 1.2, that you could see UFOs in the sky at night. The first known UFO sighting in Minecraft was by a channel called SS Lithuania, who uploaded the video Minecraft Spotted UFO all the way back in 2010. This video was massive for the time and really kickstarted this myth as some other YouTubers started posting alleged UFO sightings shortly after. These sightings paired perfectly with the feel of these early versions of Minecraft and added a huge layer of mystery and anxiety while looking at the vast empty sky. The SS Lithuanian version was most likely fake as he's an animator and made a ton of videos like this. With most of these trends, the videos started to seem faker and faker as well. Don't Look at the Moon is a newer piece of Minecraft horror and refers to the entry that was at the bottom of the most popular Minecraft Iceberg made by user Probot748 that released a few years back. A lot of people that claim to be seasoned veterans of Minecraft had no idea what this entry referred to or why it was at the very bottom of this massive iceberg, but Probot later gave an explanation. His explanation basically stated that in Minecraft, there's rumored to be codes that check whether or not you're looking at the moon in-game. He went on to explain that the game had experiments to test this code out, such as your game being corrupted or shadow entities if the code detected you looking at the moon. He then linked a playlist of a ton of eerie videos that he claimed to be him testing to see whether this was real or not. The first couple videos are fairly normal, with him recording him staring at the moon with nothing happening. However, as the playlist goes on, the videos get stranger and stranger. I suggest watching the playlist from start to end, as the videos aren't long and it's an interesting, chilling watch. The Redstone Man is one of the newer stories I've discovered. The original Reddit post was a player claiming to see a figure of a man in all black, wearing a black hat and having red eyes. He claims to have seen this figure only after using his redstone contraptions he had in his world. The man would just stand in the distance watching him until the player left the area where his redstone was. The theory behind this is that the redstone dust gives off a hallucinogenic property that makes the player see this man. I'm pretty sure this is based on the real-life Hat Man, which is actually kind of funny if it is. Still pretty interesting though, and I haven't seen anyone else cover this. The Nick 56 is a Minecraft ARG series started on YouTube by a channel called The Nick 56. The ARG is about Nick playing Minecraft and is set during the time of Minecraft's beta, which is done perfectly as he has this old desktop setting in his videos. The series starts off pretty simple as he's just trying out the new Minecraft beta, but as the series goes on, more and more disturbing things start occurring around his world. The series has a ton of puzzles and things to discover, and it's not completed yet. Nick interacts with a bunch of comments and drops more puzzles and hints for them to solve, which is kinda cool. I recommend checking out Weefy's video on this one, as he goes over each entry in the series and analyzes it completely. SS Lithuania is an old animation YouTuber who would frequently upload Minecraft animations around 2010 to 2012. If you remember, I referenced him in the UFOs entry as he made the UFO video. Some of these animations were pretty disturbing and were meant to scare people. There's something about his animation style on top of the visuals of old Minecraft that just looks so unsettling. There's tons of comments on these videos of people reminiscing on how scared they used to be when they would watch these animations. I'm not too proud to admit, but me included, I would wet my britches watching these sometimes. Sadly, he hasn't uploaded in years, which is a shame because he was such a good animator. The Cave Dweller is a mod created by YouTuber Gargan and is the biggest horror-based mod in Minecraft. The Cave Dweller is a tall, dark, and handsome creature that lurks in the caves and tries to hunt players as they delve deeper into the world's caves. The Dweller will crawl around in the dark as he hunts you, and will react in a few different ways when the player spots him. If you decide to fight him, he's a pretty tough enemy as he can move through water, climb up walls, and move extremely fast as he chases you. Unfortunately, due to the Dweller's popularity, he was cloned to death by the community. You can't go anywhere without seeing several copies of the Cave Dweller, and it really took away the scariness to the original Dweller. It feels a bit stale now too, which sucks so much because I remember when he first released and how hype everyone was and was playing around with him. Some of the copies are alright and bring new original ideas to the Dweller, while some are just very shameless copies. Luckily, one mod in the last layer of this iceberg might do something to breathe new life into the horror mod community. The Casey Cave series is a piece of Minecraft Lost Media which has some pretty interesting twists to trying to discover it. The original creepypasta was created in 2012 and was fairly popular for the time. The story is about a ghost woman named Casey who lives deep inside of the caves and tries to speak to players. Some pretty standard stuff for early 2010s gaming creepypastas. However, that same year in 2012, a channel called ECW Gaming was inspired by the original story, and he made a series of videos based on Casey Caves, where he put his own spin to the original story. The series was pretty big back in the day, as it was shared around a ton of now dead Minecraft forums and video sharing sites. Tons of people remember watching and being scared by the series, and when they went back to watch the series again years later, it was gone. There's a couple things found like the original English subtitles to the series, and even a couple screenshots. However, other than that, it's completely wiped off the internet. Something interesting about the search for the series is that when people were looking for the original creator, ECW Gaming, they found that it was the original channel name for Scare Theater's second account, Scare Theater 2. Scare Theater, for those unfamiliar, is one of the biggest and oldest horror YouTubers on the platform. People found this piece of information because in one of Scare Theater's earliest videos, he linked his second channel in the description as ECW Gaming, which when you click on the link, it just redirects you to Scare Theater 2 now. Pretty interesting as how he's never mentioned that he was the creator of this series. This entry refers to the theory that Steve, or the player character, is actually in a coma caused by some sort of traumatic accident. The theory states that the strange physics of the world, mobs, and everything else is just a made-up dream in Steve's head while he's deep inside of this coma. Some evidence supporting this theory is the fact that when you sleep in-game, you don't actually sleep as you get right back up. This is because you can't have dreams inside of dreams. Another thing is the cave noises played in the game. In the theory, these are thought of as strange flashbacks echoed from the real world. Another huge piece of information for this theory comes from the very end of the end credits of Minecraft that read, "Wake up." Not sure if I believe this one too much, but it's still really interesting and I thought it deserved a spot on the chart. In the atmospheric sounds for the warped forest, there are 4 sounds that are very strange. 2 of them are titled Help, and the other 2 are titled Hear, which during these sounds, it sounds like someone is crying out for help. These are for sure Endermen making these cries for help, and it further supports the theory that the warped forest are locations in the Nether that were corrupted by the end. Minecraft for sure knows how to create some scary ambience, as these sounds sound pretty disturbing. Ghost players was a strange bug that was present in some of the older versions of Minecraft. They were entities that would completely copy some of the active players on the server or world, copying their skin, name tag, and even entire inventory in some cases. One example of ghost players is a bug that would occur when players lagged out of a server. Once they lag out, an entity would spawn in their place that uses their skin and name tag, and it would just stand still. In these cases, the ghost player could not be killed, and after about a minute it would just disappear, leaving a server message saying that the player it was copying left the game. When the ghost would disappear, it would also just drop the inventory of the copied player as well. Another more strange example of this is a bug that occurred when a player died while transitioning in a nether portal. A ghost player would randomly spawn next to the portal and stand still. The ghost player could take damage in this case and even be killed. Once killed, a death message would appear with the name of whoever the ghost was copying. The strange thing is though, once you kill one of these ghost players in this case, you would instantly die as soon as you log back onto the server. This sounds like a stupid creepypasta, but it's actually real. These bugs did spawn a few creepypastas on their own though, but you didn't even really need to change anything about the original instances because it's pretty creepy on its own. Man Bear is a mod and series of videos created by the YouTuber IDK Some Guy. The mod isn't actually released yet as of the time I'm making this video, but IDK Some Guy has a series of videos where he showcases and tries to survive the Man Bear mod. These videos feel like mini movies as they're very well put together and have the perfect amount of suspense to them. The mod itself is of this large creature called the Man Bear. The Man Bear will stalk the players for days, occasionally stealing blocks from the player's base and making noises from afar while the player is out and exploring. The Man Bear is immortal, and you can't cheese him or beat him. You are constantly just on edge waiting for him to make the next move. There isn't really anything like this mod yet in Minecraft, and myself and the rest of the internet is dying for it to get a release. However, IDK Some Guy is very reluctant on releasing the mod because of how butchered the horror modding scene has become. He states that he doesn't want to release the mod and immediately have it be exploited and have several reskins and copies, such as another entry we talked about earlier on the list. This is a fair reason to keep it under wraps, but I hope one day we can see the full release to this mod. Our final entry refers to the theory that Minecraft is actually a horror game. I haven't seen a non-horror game scare or startle as many people as I've seen Minecraft have. The game has perfect horror game sound, and even visuals sometimes, leading you to getting startled at least once in a while, even if you're a long-time player. The game gives us these vast open areas, and a ton of dark caverns with the promise that anything could be lurking around the corner, and instead of outright trying to scare us, It just lets our imagination fill in the blanks. That is perfect horror game design. I don't know, maybe I'm just upset that even as an adult, I'm still getting scared by the silly block game. That was the Minecraft Horror Iceberg Explained. If I missed anything in this video, because I'm sure that I did, please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you all so much for the support on the channel. Let me know if you want more gaming icebergs, as I'd love to make them. If you enjoyed this one though, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel as it helps me out a ton. That's all from me. Have yourselves a damn good one.